What is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome to episode number 39 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast about two brothers who are also WWE, who were former WWE employees, who happen to enjoy wrestling, which makes sense with our former jobs, and video games, the video games. We talk about both here on this podcast. It's a joint thing, combining two interests, two things we talk to each other about all the time that we like to share with you people to talk about all the time. I am one of your hosts, Murpho.
I'm DMurph. What's up? How you doing?
Coming with fire, enthusiasm, all this stuff. I haven't slept much. I've been working like a dog, but I come in with energy, with fire, with passion, and you just go, sub.
Well, first off, you're popping the mic, seriously.
Eh.
Second off, that's just not my style.
That's debatable. Oh, okay. Are you Carlito now? Are you gonna spit an apple in my face?
Hey. That's something I'll talk about a little later, actually.
That's interesting because I haven't heard about that. I already know where you're getting at, and it makes me excited. We are so close to the Royal Rumble, which means the Road to WrestleMania is just around the corner.
Which, by the way, one quick side note I want to make about that. I'm not going to spit in your face because he spits in the face of the people who don't want to be cool, and you want to be cool but just don't succeed.
Yeah, duh. You suck lots of things that I'm not going to get into. But anyway, Royal Rumble's just around the corner. Takeover's just around the corner. We got Raw 25 happening this coming Monday. Mm-hmm. If you guys are actually listening to this before Monday, the 23rd of January, because today is the 20th. That is the correct date.
Tomorrow's the 20th.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, I know for a fact.
My day's blur. All right, the 22nd. January 22nd. Are you sure? Maybe you got it wrong and your wife is just really pissed off at you right now.
Nope. That is 100% not. It says right there on the bottom of the monitor, 1/19/2018.
Hey, you know what? I wasn't elected to read. I was elected to lead.
You weren't elected for anything.
I was elected for everything. Okay, guys. So we're going to get into the wrestling, and then in video games, we're going to figure out just what the heck a Labo is, the new Nintendo thingamajigger. That has set the internet aflame.
I found out it's not the space biker from DC Comics. That's Labo, not Labo.
I was just gonna say that's Labo, different thing. Yeah. Totally two different things. One is a Nintendo device that we'll get into later, and the other one is basically DC Deadpool.
But they might do a Lobo Labo at some point. You never know.
Lobo Labo would be a hell of a thing. Get on that Nintendo. Get on that DC.
By the way, sup, Laserscope.
Laserscope representing the chat. Make sure that you guys get involved in Twitch if you can catch us live, so you can get involved in the chat on every single episode. Yeah. We're also going to talk about a little bit more on Overwatch League and some other stuff like the incoming Blizzard World Map, and I think might be some other things in video games that we'll talk about if we've got time.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of time this week, so not sure how much more stuff we will be touching base on in the video game news, but we're going to get right into the wrestling. We've delayed long enough with our intro. So, Raw 25, happening on Monday. You say there is more confirmed people.
Yes.
Who is going to be joining on
Should we talk about this Raw first, though?
Well, let's talk about who's coming to Raw 25, and then we will go back and overview everything, and then go into the Royal Rumble.
So, as of right now, here are all the names that, as of today, are currently confirmed for Raw 25. Those would be, well, I'll just say this. The first name on this list shocked me, honestly, because I did not expect this. First name on the list, MVP. Montel Vontavious Porter is coming back to Raw for Raw 25.
Haven't seen him in forever. Is he? I guess he's on the outs with Impact Wrestling.
He might be. Then again,
I don't keep up with Impact Wrestling, so I don't remember when the last time he wrestled for Impact was.
Yeah, a lot of people are on the outs with that company anyway.
Yes.
But yeah, there's going to be MVP, Howard Finkel, Chris Jericho, Lillian Garcia, Jeff Hardy, the Brooklyn Brawler, Mark Henry, Jonathan Coachman.
Coach recently left ESPN.
Yep. Christian, Trish Stratus, Kelly, Jacqueline Moore, Terry Runnels, Tori Wilson, Maria Kanellis, Michelle McCool, Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, Sean X-Pac Waltman, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, Scott Hall, Ric Flair, the Bella Twins, JBL, Ron Simmons, the Dudley Boys, Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, the New Age Outlaws, Mean Gene Okerlund, Ted DiBiase, Teddy Long, Eric Bischoff, The Godfather, Brother Love, The Boogeyman, Sergeant Slaughter, John Laurinaitis, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Maurice, The New Day, Charlotte Flair, The Usos, Daniel Bryan, and Shane McMahon.
So many people.
Yeah.
So many people. Are the Usos going to be there, though, given the DWI that Jay suffered?
That's true. Last I heard, he was on SmackDown, and that took place after the DWI.
Okay.
But,
I think there was a statement by WWE saying they were going to investigate the situation before they decided upon any disciplinary measures on Jay within the company.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to be interested to hear, because they mentioned that you rattled off a lot of Hall of Fame caliber or popular or best in their time divas or female superstars. Now they would be coined. A lot of them, when they were wrestled, they were labeled divas. I wonder how many of them are showing up and going to say, I'm entering myself into the Women's Royal Rumble.
Probably a good amount of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, but they need to fill it up with 30 people, and the list just keeps getting shorter and shorter with injuries.
Yep. Well, there was only one injury, a big injury, but there was an injury.
Two.
So God, this Raw 25 is going to be packed.
Yeah.
Like, then they said it's going to be 4 hours long this time, right?
Yeah, they're doing a Raw pre-show.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like, God, so many people. How are they going to fit all those people plus the Raw roster and get a normal Raw in there?
Intergender on the spot Royal Rumble match. That's why.
Okay. All right. What do the winners get?
A Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, I was going to say something reasonable, like, okay, you get the 30 slot, neither the male or female Rumble.
And a Stone Cold Stunner, probably.
Okay, yeah. Of course you get the Stone Cold Stunner. Yeah. If you're going to be in the ring with Stone Cold, you get the Stone Cold Stunner. The other big news that comes out of all those announcements, because this name wasn't put out there last time we recorded, the other big name that's in there that's surprising, not so much because we didn't think him and WWE had like a bit of a rough relationship given recent events, but more so the fact that he's still involved with New Japan. And that's Jericho. I thought for sure that, like, if Jericho was still doing stuff with New Japan, he's doing stuff with Naito now, that it would mean that he would be, like, contractually obligated with New Japan to not show up to anything WWE related.
Well, the thing with Jericho, part of the reason that he seems to be doing this is, as he had described, he wants to help build better relationships and a stronger relationship between WWE and New Japan, because how often do they mention things like Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles being former IWGP champions, and mentioning like the Gallows and Anderson are former IWGP tag team champions and things like that. They always mention New Japan and the titles they have and things like that.
I'm starting to wonder. Well, this is I'll get to this in a second. I'll stick with Jericho, but I know that he was still good with WWE and his relationship with Vince and the company wasn't harmed, but I just was under the impression that if he was signed with New Japan, it would be like an exclusive thing where New Japan was like, you're signed with us, you wrestle with us, you don't appear on WWE programming until your dates with us are over.
No.
Then you can go back to WWE. But apparently that's not the case.
Yeah, his deal with them is more or less that they're basically like, we want you to wrestle shows for us. He's like, I'd love to wrestle shows for you. And they're like, okay, we'll sign you for a certain number of dates and things like that. And it's also a matter of they don't really have too much of a problem with WWE because Gato likes WWE guys being on his shows and everything.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of, so you want to have our guy who just had a hell of a match at Wrestle Kingdom and is still going to be wrestling with us to show up on one of the biggest Raws? I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm starting to wonder if maybe Jericho's the exception to the rule, or if like the whole thing with Jericho is a sign that maybe WWE is starting to admit that, like, especially given how apparently their international efforts this year didn't do as well as they were hoping, specifically in India. I'm wondering if they're like conceding the fact that they won't get a foothold in Japan. And so they're not going to try to be a direct competitor to New Japan in that area of the world. And they know that they've got the market in the U.S. cornered. New Japan's got that cornered. They're on different halves of the globe. So they're happy with interacting with New Japan in a way that they would never do, I would think, with well, maybe they would with ROH, because they probably see ROH like ECW in the 90s, but like an Impact kind of a thing, or like back in the Attitude Era, like a WCW.
Well, the thing I find interesting about that is it does kind of sort of link to Ring of Honor because of the fact that New Japan and ROH have a very strong deal together. And you were seeing people like, if Cody didn't lose Cody, don't call him Rhodes, if he didn't lose the ROH World title to Dalton Castle, his match with Kota Ibushi was supposed to be for the ROH World Championship.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know the New Japan and ROH have a deal. I feel like the way that the landscape is becoming now is that, because I feel like with the way that WWE over recent years has been signing ROH talent and have looked to ROH, I feel like they look to ROH almost as if it's like a pre-performance center farm system for them.
Basically.
Kind of like I said, how ECW kind of was for them in the 90s with the deal that they had with Heyman.
Yeah.
So they see them as kind of like an ECW, like farm system, like sub farm system, and they see like New Japan as like a somewhat of a rival, but someone they can be partners with, because they both own considerable chunks of the world that neither one of them, because of language barriers, I think for the most part, can't really switch over. So yeah, we'll get to that stuff eventually. That Laserscope just brought up.
There is one other thing that happened since you had mentioned Hall of Famers and stuff that I forgot to mention that is also big news.
Oh yes, we know who the Hall of Fame headliner is for the class of 2018.
And that is the big guy, Goldberg.
I'm confused.
Kayfabe News had an article about that where they were talking about Goldberg, but listing all of Ryback's names and everything about him, and had a picture of Ryback. And they had people seriously confused on Twitter. Like, no, that's Ryback. That's No, you're confused. That's Goldberg. We're talking about Goldberg here. No, I know, but that's Ryback. No, this is Goldberg we're talking about, guy. It was pretty good.
Ryback and Goldberg are one of the same. When Goldberg feels like jumping into a younger body, he just transfers his soul into Ryback.
They even said in it Goldberg's famous catchphrase of "Feed me, who's next." But another little thing about it is, which I just heard yesterday, do you know who's rumored to be inducting him?
Jericho?
Paul Heyman. Which I think is rather interesting.
That is very interesting. Would have been interesting if Eric Bischoff did it. That would have been fitting, because Bischoff was behind the whole Goldberg push.
True.
Speaking of Goldberg and speaking of Chris Jericho, there are some people who are thinking like, maybe we could get a Jericho Goldberg WrestleMania match, even though apparently Fozzy has a tour date the night of WrestleMania. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah,
I saw a What Culture thing where like Simon Miller was doing like potential things for Goldberg to do around the Hall of Fame or whatever, and he proposed like maybe, or things for, I think it was things for Jericho to do, for like now, like based on his appearance on Raw and like what he could do, and like the number one out there thing he proposed was set up a match with Goldberg for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, they have a date that night, but if they put him on early night first thing, he could catch a flight and be at his location just in time.
There you go.
I mean, I also feel like Jericho's the kind of person who would do that too, but then again, would Jericho risk any kind of flight delays or cancellations and having to cancel a Fozzy tour date?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And piss off his bandmates.
But let's move on.
Yeah, so Raw 25 is going to be
nice.
Yeah, and I have Monday off, so I'm probably going to watch. It'll be like the first time I'll be watching Raw in a while.
Good.
I just popped the mic. Good. So before we get into the Royal Rumble and potential who may or may not show up stuff and whatnot, why don't you take us through the week that wasn't wrestling?
Well, let's see. The first thing that we had was with Monday Night Raw. The show started off with Braun Strowman coming out, talking big, and then Kurt Angle came out and was like, well, that's not going to happen because you're fired. And then Braun Strowman flipped the script on them.
No, he flipped something else.
Yeah. He beat up a lot of security guards. He beat up a lot of talent in the back area, and then he flipped a semi truck. And then
just a little thing, not a big deal.
And then when he went to attack Michael Cole, apparently it was all like, Stephanie says you're rehired, please stop. And so in one night, Braun Strowman basically got fired, destroyed Raw, and then got rehired.
Question: When Kurt fought, because I didn't catch Raw at all. When Angle fired Strowman, was that his decision, or did he mention that like Stephanie or the board had made the decision?
He flat out said he was just saying like he's being dangerous. He could have hurt people, blah blah blah. And he goes, "You're not competing tonight. You're actually not competing at the Royal Rumble at all because you're fired."
It's interesting how, and this was brought up again by What Culture. If you can't tell, I watch What Culture and it helps me stay in the loop for WWE news. Also Cultaholic, who are former What Culture guys. They pointed out like the inconsistency. It's interesting how he needed Stephanie's approval to rehire Braun, but didn't need Stephanie's approval to fire Braun earlier on in the night.
I don't think it was so much needed her approval so much as it was he fired Braun. All this stuff was going on, and Stephanie was like, "Enough is enough. Hire him back so he stops destroying my show."
Instead of call the authorities or the National Guard and have him dragged off.
Apparently the police were on the way since the beginning of the night.
Yeah.
But whatever.
What city were they in?
I don't even know.
Don't go to that city. Find out what city they're in. Don't go to that city because the police do not respond in a professional manner or time at all.
We've got a 7-foot-tall man flipping trucks.
He's on a rampage. He's assaulting people left and right. Yeah, we'll be there in about
Listen, ma'am, we're on our break right now. We'll get there when we get there.
Listen, everybody's out on patrol right now. Why are we just suddenly slipping into a southern accent as if we're in some southern city and we're a southern dispatcher?
Because it felt like it.
Oh, man. Hey to Cam, GP2, Cameron, in the chat. So what else? Anything else of interest happen on Raw?
I'm trying to think. Other than that and the Goldberg announcement, I don't really remember anything else on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And then SmackDown was glorious.
Oh, there was something else on Raw, actually.
What's that?
I'm surprised that it got stomped out of your memory.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Seth Rollins brought back the curb stomp on Raw.
Yeah.
To Finn Balor.
I think my favorite thing is there's an image of him doing it to Finn Balor, and somebody showed Jason Jordan in the background being like, pretty much exactly what the fans are like. It's like, he brought it back. They let him do it. That just happened. They brought it back. And then Rollins, I think, put out a tweet. I think it was with that image that said like, "Hello, old friend," or something like that, or "Welcome back, old friend,"
something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
But then Monday night or Tuesday night SmackDown Live became glorious, where they had the semifinals of the U.S. title tournament, and then after Bobby Roode won his match against what's his name? I don't even care that much about him.
I know it was
dude.
Mojo Rawley.
That's it, Mojo.
Jojo Rawley.
Yeah, apparently after he beat Jojo Rawley, he got attacked from behind by the Singh brothers and stuff, and Jinder Mahal was talking about how he's going to beat him, and so Bobby Roode was like, well, why don't we just make that match tonight? And Jinder was like, when I'm ready to face you, I will do it. And then Daniel Bryan came up behind him and was like, hey,
guess what? Hey, guy.
Hey,
guy.
Hey, Jinder. Can you guess what the main event is? Can you guess? It's that match tonight for the main event. Have fun.
Guess what, guy? Guess what, buddy? You're wrestling.
Hey, buddy.
He's not Canadian, but he dresses like one in a lot of flannel. And he's also from Seattle, which is very close to Canada.
Well, he was trying to communicate to Jinder into his natural light.
Shh, we don't talk about that. He's from India. Shh. So are the Singh brothers.
I am from India.
The Singh brothers were not in the Cruiserweight Classic under the names of Garv and Herb Sira.
God. But yeah, and then main event, the Glorious 1-1, and is our new U.S. champion. But the one thing that bothers me about it is apparently the reason they did that is because they had too much stuff booked up for the Royal Rumble. Can you explain to me why it is that you pushed the U.S. title match off the Royal Rumble?
Well, what other match were they going to push off?
Maybe, I don't know, Enzo versus Cedric for the Cruiserweight title?
That's going to be the pre-show match, though.
I'd rather see U.S. title on the pre-show match than Cruiserweight title. If something's got to be kicked, I'd rather see the U.S. title.
Yeah, but where else are you going to put the U.S. title on the line? Are you going to try and cram it into, like at this point, are you going to try and cram it into Raw 25th anniversary? I don't think so. I don't think you're going to do it on, you're not going to, I think it would be a shame and a disservice to Cedric Alexander by putting it on the 205 Live before.
You could have done it
in the show
this week on Raw.
But I'm sorry, what? You could have done what now? I don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about SmackDown and how SmackDown had a bump of match. Maybe they didn't know about that until Tuesday. Huh? Did you think about that?
They could have done it some other time. But they could have done something. They probably could have made
Cameron,
it whatever.
I agree with your statement. Cameron says the final would have been so much more interesting with Woods versus Rude.
I
agree, but also that's face versus face right now. So
it could work, especially in that situation since it's a tough tournament.
I will still say that Austin had an amazing campaign to try and get the people behind him for the U.S. champ. So # Woods U.S. champ at some point in the future. Gotta happen.
Yeah, seriously.
A vote for him is well, it doesn't work with the rhyme because as he would say, a vote for me is a vote for 3. There, I made it work.
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing, by the way. I think that's the next step you take the New Day in, is you take the Freebird rule in a whole new direction and you apply it to singles championships. So that way when one wins a singles title, any of the three of them can defend it.
WWE, you're welcome for this storyline. New idea. You got either Kofi or Xavier down to 205, have them win the Cruiserweight title, and then have Big E defend the Cruiserweight Championship with the Freebird rule.
That's not fair. Tough.
Too bad.
Michael Hayes is like, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Oh, man.
You say the Freebird rule isn't fair? You insulting the fabulous Freebirds?
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, those were good. Other things that happened this week. New signees to WWE.
Well, do we want to save that for Royal Rumble speculation? Even though they're not going to be in the Royal Rumble?
Well, we could just...
kind of spoiled that.
I mean, it's already announced.
And also, we skipped over NXT.
Oh, yeah.
And we also skipped over an injury that actually happened before all of this, too.
Oh, yeah, true. Sasha injured someone. Someone you might know as the Glampire. Paige. With the kick that she gave her right before Christmas. They thought it was just like a bit of a stinger injury, but upon further investigation, rumor has it that it might be a career-ending injury. It is not confirmed by WWE or anyone, but that is the rumor going on right now.
I've heard it mentioned, though I don't know how...
the extent.
No. I don't know I don't know the extent of the validity of this claim, but I've apparently heard through the grapevine, and this is when I say through the grapevine, I don't mean I have a connection or anything. I just heard this out in the ether of the internet that her injury is on the same level of the injury that Edge suffered that forced him to retire.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. But that's the rumor. We don't know if that's true.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Cam is mentioning in regards to the New Day, is that not kind of the idea with Sami and Kevin versus AJ? I don't think so, because isn't it just like they're facing off against AJ in a handicap match? But I think it might be they don't both own the WWE Championship. They win. It's just whoever gets a pin wins the WWE Championship. It's very similar to what happened in the Attitude Era when they did Kane and Undertaker versus Steve Austin, and Kane won the WWE Championship.
I'll give you a better idea of what it's actually like. The way they're going about it is basically the angle of Lay Cool. Of how they were co-Divas champion.
Okay.
Or women's champion or whatever. They're looking to become co-WWE champion.
Okay. So it's kind of a similar thing, but with New Day it would be 3. I think then I actually really hope that Sami, like, It would be cool because then that Sammy would say that he was a WWE champion. But I kind of want AJ to win because I think if anybody's gonna do that angle, it should be the New Day.
True, I agree. But anyway, you want to talk about brief things on NXT?
Sure.
So there was a video of TM61 that I hear was very good, but I unfortunately did not get to see.
I did not catch it, but I also heard it was very good.
Yeah,
they are back, and I am excited to see TM61 back.
Yeah, I did not get to see NXT this week. I'm hoping
apparently,
to see it soon.
I think it was Nick Miller grew his hair out, and he looks like
Shane
Thorne. Okay.
Yeah, and it confused the hell out of me.
Yeah, I saw an image of the video, and I'm like,
yeah, I saw an image
I don't
of
know
him like
you.
that beforehand, and I was like, Nick, where'd you get the new guy? But yeah, I also want to point out that I find it funny that it's Shane Thorne and Nick Miller, correct?
Mm-hmm.
One of the main characters on the show New Girl, which my wife and I have been watching a lot.
Nick
recently.
Miller.
Yep, good old Nick Miller.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they did that. Coming up soon.
Shayna Baszler and Ember Moon, by the way, was confirmed. It will be the women's championship match, the NXT Women's Championship match at TakeOver Philly,
which will be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think it was this week. I think next week is Street Profits versus Authors of Pain. Whoever wins faces Undisputed Era for the NXT Tag Titles at Philly. I'm pretty sure that's happening next week. I'm pretty sure that didn't happen Wednesday. Yeah. And apparently Johnny Gargano gave one hell of a promo, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
Good old Johnny Wrestling.
So yeah.
Now can I mention the new signees?
Sure, let's roll ahead to the new signees, and then we'll go right into the Royal Rumble.
So Stephanie McMahon, or not Stephanie McMahon, wow. I just read that and that popped in my head. WWE has recently signed 4 new employees in kind of 3 signings. They have signed the tag team War Machine, which everyone kind of knew was going to happen.
Yeah, saw that coming.
They signed Ricochet, which I'm super excited about.
Mm-hmm.
And they also signed Mrs. Johnny Wrestling.
Yes,
Candice
LeRae.
Who last night had a very emotional final independent match against her longtime tag team partner of the world's cutest tag team, Joey Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it was very emotional.
But now she gets to, wrestle alongside her husband, so.
Yep, and get to wrestle a bunch of people on the WWE female roster. And I am now thinking that maybe they could go at the angle of now WWE finally has someone who is ready for Asuka.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see. So we got Candice LeRae and we got Ricochet. They're going to be in the Royal Rumbles, right?
Possibly with Candice LeRae at least.
Yeah, we're not entirely sure, but it's believed that they're going to go to NXT first,
yeah,
correct?
because everything that has been saying is that they've been signed for the Performance Center.
Yeah.
And it should also be noted that at least War Machine and Ricochet, it's believed that they've been signed for 3-year deals with WWE.
Cool.
So
I'm sure Ricochet will be able to do great things on 205 Live.
yeah, basically. I really hope they don't mess this up, but you never know.
Ricochet, Ladies Cup was actually just saying that he doesn't trust WWE to not waste Ricochet. Like, I'm worried that they might stick him on 205 Live. He's a great wrestler, but I'm just worried about what they're going to do with him. And, yeah, so, and I haven't seen, I still have to watch Lucha Underground, but yeah, him as Prince Puma, I've heard nothing but great things. And then just to piggyback on what else has been said in chat, Paul Heyman guy, welcome into the chat, my bud. He says Stephanie McMahon is an idiot for rehiring Braun Strowman. Well, kayfabe wise, yes, because just wait for the police, arrest him, and press charges. He flipped technically kayfabe wise, he flipped a truck, threatened the lives of several of your employees, and assaulted countless others.
Yeah,
but wrestling.
Yep.
You don't. If you watch wrestling, especially in the Attitude Era, well, I mean, technically McMahon just wanted to have Austin employed so he could punish him and control his life.
Yeah, that's true.
But like in wrestling, disgruntled employees just get rehired. You just cause a fuss and you get rehired.
Yeah, similar to how it is in comics. In wrestling, no one ever stays fired, and in comics, no one ever stays dead.
Yes.
But yeah, they've all been signed, and I'm hoping that everything will work out with these guys.
Yes. One of my fans is
There we go.
One of my fans is, I think, hitting one of the wires in my computer because we always shift the tower.
Yep.
I hope everybody heard enough of that, but
yeah. So let's talk very briefly. Royal Rumble.
The Royalist Rumbless. So hit me. I've been trying to. I don't want to know. I want this to be a safe space for Royal Rumble spoilers. I've been staying away from them. I want to be surprised if somebody's going to be in it. But what I think we will entertain is putting out names. If you know that they're going to be in it, just say.
I don't know of anyone who is 100%. I just
want to mention names that might show up, that are rumored to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And if either of us get spoiled on it, be that, like, obviously it wasn't this week, but if any of us get spoiled on anybody for next week when we do our Royal Rumble prediction, we'll just mention that these new people were rumored in addition to any people who were actually rumored. That way we don't mess with you guys. So if we mention anybody, whether or not we find out they're actually confirmed, we're only going to say that these names are all rumored so we don't spoil any of you guys on any names.
In which one of the first names that I heard that is rumored is the guy who would spit in your face if you wanted to be cool.
Carlito! Yeah. It's been a long time since Carlito's kind of been due. What has he been doing? Because he was doing some stuff with New Japan a couple of years ago, but
he's been all over the place. I think he's been doing a lot of stuff down in Puerto Rico.
Okay,
but yeah, he's just been all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Cam thinks that there will only be NXT guys as surprised in the men's Rumble. I don't think so. They normally always go with a old act.
Yeah,
and there's also the fact that it's believed that Bobby Lashley and EC3's contracts are up with Impact, and EC3's actually was up because he got kayfabe fired from Impact Wrestling. So it's believed rumored that the two of them are actually going to be surprise entrants.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case just because, like I said before, from what I heard, I think their contracts are still in effect with Impact until I think it's March or so. So I don't know. Oh yeah, that's right. Carlito, thank you, Cam, was in Glow.
Yes, he was in Glow. That's true. And Glow is awesome. If you're 18 or older, because it's only for adults. It's an adult show. If you're 18 or older, watch Glow. It's awesome.
Agreed.
So and you know who else was in Glow? Brodus Clay and Johnny Mundo.
Yes, that's right.
But I don't think either of them are rumored to be returning at the Royal Rumble, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure Brodus is still
with Impact, right?
With Impact, yeah.
And I think Johnny is still very much invested with Lucha Underground, I believe.
He's doing a lot of stuff.
Cam says that Lashley can't be in there, but
EC3 apparently can.
Maybe Lashley's contract isn't up before Rumble, but maybe he'll come back. There have also been people. This is just wild rumors, and I think people trying to be wishful thinkers. But a lot of people are hoping that Batista will be announced for the Hall of Fame and or be returned to the Royal Rumble for another
I heard,
WrestleMania run. I would love to see him back. For another WrestleMania run. I don't think he's going to be announced for the Hall of Fame, given the fact that Goldberg was announced as the headliner. Yeah. And I think Batista, the year he goes to the Hall of Fame, he's going to be the headliner, especially given how much his Hollywood career has skyrocketed and taken off since his last run, which was right before Guardians of the Galaxy 1 happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's got the 2 Guardians movies under his belt. He's doing, it would make sense for him to show up in the Rumble,
but not go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, especially since also for his career, because if you think about it, he was in what's the name? Well, he was in Blade Runner 2049, which just came out on Blu-ray this week, so that would help get a face out there to help promote that movie, which was a great movie. I'm ashamed that it didn't do that well at the box office. And he can help, if he stays until WrestleMania, help promote Infinity War that comes out in May.
That's true, yeah.
So, And Lazy Scope says, Batista said he'd only come back for a Triple H storyline. He's said, I don't think he's flat out said that he will only do a Triple H storyline, but I know that he really wants to do a storyline with Triple H for WrestleMania, which might not be possible since it looks like we're going to get Angle versus Triple H at WrestleMania.
Either Angle versus Triple H or Strowman versus Triple H, one of the two.
Yes, and Lazy Scope also mentioned that apparently Johnny Mundo is signed with both Lucha Underground and Impact. So, and yes, Cameron is actually, we were actually going to mention this as well. He said the one rumor that I really want to be true, but I don't think it will be, is Rey Mysterio. Rey could come back.
Yeah,
I believe
that he might be.
If I was going to make a prediction, I would say that he will come back to get that pop. And it would be a nice thing for him, good karma for him, considering like he ended up getting booed at the I think that was the last Royal Rumble he was in when he was number 30.
Yeah, the last one he was in.
Daniel Bryan, when everybody was hoping he was Daniel Bryan, he got booed because it wasn't Daniel Bryan. Yeah. So it'd be nice if he came back at the Royal Rumble to get that pop. And then I think he would probably be thrown into a veterans role in 205 Live to try and give 205 Live some star power and to try and draw some ratings and to have a like long-time future Hall of Famer veteran presence in that locker room for that show.
Yeah, that would help them out, at least as far as morale and everything with the locker room. Yeah. Another thing I haven't heard, but I have
Cameron says that would be mean. No, he would get booed in Philadelphia. He would get booed like crazy. I think the Philly fans would jump the barricade and beat the hell out of him.
Yes, that's true.
But you know who could come out to Bryan's music and it would be amazing in the Rumble? The Miz.
That would be pretty amazing. Yeah.
If like number 30 hits and Daniel Bryan's music hits and out comes the Miz and he's doing the yes thing, God, I would freaking, I would lose it. I would give a round of applause.
Cam's right there, new top heel.
New top heel, exactly. If you want to shoot Miz up to the moon and get him in a place where he can become WWE or Universal Champion again, do that.
Yeah,
especially and it doesn't matter whether or not Bryan's coming back to wrestle Shane McMahon at WrestleMania because I don't think he's going to be in the Rumble regardless. So, why not screw with the fans in Philly? And especially, that's the right kind of situation, too.
All right, well, one thing I want to point out quickly that I've been trying to say is one thing I could see happening easily is someone like RVD or maybe once again Bubba or someone from
Tommy
ECW.
Dreamer's always willing to come back and do a quick
he's been doing a lot with Impact, though.
I mean, you've already got Rhino, too. True. Rhino's going to be in there.
Yeah, just because they're going to be in Philly. But one thing I want to point out, Mike, is you may be wrong.
What?
One of the rumors I've been hearing is that Daniel Bryan may be in the Royal Rumble.
Really?
A rumor that I actually heard quite recently that
I would say don't you dare put I would honestly unless you want to say Roman's not doing it, let's do Bryan for Mania. Sure. I would say do not, under any circumstances, put Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble in Philly if you have no intentions of him winning.
All right, well, can I finish?
Yes, you can finish.
First things first, I'm pretty sure the main thing Roman's doing at Royal Rumble is I believe he'll probably be facing Miz for the Intercontinental title. I don't know if he'll be in the Royal Rumble because he's the Intercontinental Champion right now.
Yeah, but they've had people pull double duty before.
Like they did that with Roman that year. But yeah, I don't know if you heard this, but one of the people that a lot of people thought was going to be winning, the two people that were high up on the betting lists and everything that's been showing up as potential winners are Roman and Shinsuke. Mm-hmm. Apparently, a lot of those betting sites have had Daniel Bryan's name skyrocket in odds of who's going to win the Royal Rumble.
I don't know where they're getting their information from. I'm saying with almost absolute certainty that Daniel Bryan is wrestling at WrestleMania and he's coming back to the ring. I'm sure with the way that they've been building up the Shane McMahon thing and the rumors that doctors have cleared him, I am convinced that a WWE doctor has finally cleared him and he is going to wrestle for WWE and he's going to be involved in WrestleMania. My only question is, does that mean he's wrestling Shane or are they going to put him in the Rumble? Because again, maybe if it wasn't Philly. But you are in Philly, where you had that disaster in the role for not having Bryan in there. Mm-hmm. So, and based on what happened to Bryan the year after, too, where he was in the Rumble and he got taken out, you do not put Daniel Bryan into the Royal Rumble, especially in Philly, unless he wins. So if he's in there, I gotta believe he wins. And then
that's why, if you let me finish, one of the main things that they're saying that he's skyrocketing in the ranks is because a lot of rumors are saying that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, and basically everything said about that is WWE saying if Daniel Bryan is in the Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan is winning the Royal Rumble match. So if he's not in it, he's not winning. If he's in it, he's probably going to win.
I mean, Laserscope says you wouldn't risk Mr. Concussion with 10 people in the ring. You control the environment he goes into, but you can control that.
If you 30.
Want, you put him in at number 30 as the last person,
or even number 29.
and you have maybe like 2 people in there, 2 guys who you can trust, like Shinsuke and Roman, who you know won't hurt him and will take care of him. Or like you put him in with 2 or 3 other guys who you know won't hurt him.
Yeah, exactly.
Who will take care of him. And then if he wins, you can still do Roman Brock, because you could do Brian AJ. And then you could have, since, AJ's kind of been on Shane's side, there's that tension there. And you can have an AJ
and
is just as amazing a heel as he is a face, and just turn AJ heel.
Well, the thing is, Daniel will get a huge reaction out of it, and that'd be great. But they would probably do, initially, Daniel Bryan, blah. And then on Tuesday, go into Daniel Bryan into the role that he's been doing, where the entire reason that AJ is defending his WWE title in a handicap match is because of the fact that Daniel Bryan put him in that match
and put him in the whole situation with Kevin Owens and Daniel.
Exactly,
and Sami Zayn.
And this could lead into something with that.
Yeah, which would be now we're fantasy booking, and now I want it to happen. Cameron also mentions if you have more people in the ring, he can do less. Yeah, you could have him come in with a House of Fire, and then say Braun's in there. You have Braun maybe do something big to him, and you have him just lay out on the side for a while, have people forget about him for a while, and then have him pop up at the end.
And then have Braun go to eliminate the last person in the match, and as he's doing that, there's Daniel Bryan with a knee plus to the back of the head, knocking him and the person he's trying to take out of the ring out of the window. And yay, Daniel Bryan wins, yes, and all that.
Yeah.
Or as they might do it now, yep. Because they've been doing the whole yep thing. But anyway, we will get more into that next week.
Yes, we will. I am excited with the Royal Rumble. And I actually have an idea. We didn't mention this before in the podcast, so I'm just throwing this at you right now. And there's no guarantee that we can do this. It's just on my mind. I want to bring it up. I think, in order to do our predictions, right? Maybe if we want to do the Royal Rumble justice, maybe instead of picking one person, we can each pick 5 people. So that way, we each have a 1/3. We have combined. If we pick different people combined, we have a 1/3 chance of one of us being right. Though chances are we'll probably pick similar people.
Okay, one thing I'm going to point out to you though,
it also increases the chances of one of us being right and the other person somebody else being wrong.
Another thing I will point out though is, as champion, I do get champion's advantage. I get to pick first.
Yes, we can do either top 5 or top 3, but I think that'll make things more interesting.
Right, that sounds good.
And give you guys watching and listening to our podcast more things to be more options and more situations to think about when the Rumble's going on. Also, one other thing I want to say before we move on, there's also one other person who's believed to come back to the Royal Rumble as a quote unquote surprise. People believe that Jeff Hardy is healthy and ready to come back from injury.
I heard about that.
So people believe that Jeff Hardy's going to come back, which I don't think Jeff's going to win because he's a Raw superstar. So he would have to win and go cross-brand. But there are people who believe that WWE does want to give Jeff another WWE championship before his time's up with the company.
Well, here's some more fantasy booking for you. First entrant into the Royal Rumble, Bray Wyatt. Second entrant into the Royal Rumble, Matt Hardy. They were brawling for a while. Third entrant into the Royal Rumble, Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy comes out, helps his brother, eliminates Bray Wyatt. They're celebrating. And then Jeff Hardy eliminates Matt Hardy, setting up for Hardy versus Hardy at WrestleMania again. Hardy versus Jeff Hardy.
I like that.
The final deletion.
That'd be the 3rd time the Hardys will face each other at WrestleMania?
At least the 2nd.
Okay. Yeah, because I know they faced off at 25 and Matt won.
Yeah, with a twist of fate while Jeff was in a steel chair, yeah. but we're taking a lot of time on this.
Yeah, Laserscope, real quick, just said he hates to admit it, but they have a recent track record of doing this right. Kurt Angle was protected when he was with the Shield, so that's in respect to Daniel Bryan in the Rumble. So yeah, third entrant into the Rumble, 2 minutes of laughter.
Exactly.
So, yeah, exactly. That would be a good way to get the Rumble started off. But we will talk more about the Royal Rumble in our predictions show next week.
Or, sorry, one of the little thing of fantasy booking, same thing of Bray Wyatt comes out, then Matt Hardy comes out. Third entrant is Kurt Hawkins, and he goes to help them, and he just gets eliminated right away. And then fourth entrant,
I wouldn't be
Jeff
surprised
Hardy.
if they try to be like, let's see if we can get Kurt Hawkins to win the new elimination record.
Okay.
Of like shortest entrant into the Royal Rumble.
Not gonna lie,
eliminated.
It would be a huge waste, but I would die laughing and be totally okay with entrant number 30 being Kurt Hawkins.
How would you feel? How would you feel about them trying to see if they could have Braun break Roman's eliminations record? Because I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do that.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
Or Maxwell, Jesus Christ. No, he's a child. A small child. Christ. Jesus Christ. Maybe in another 10 years.
Maybe he'll get Smokin' Joe Frazier and George Washington to help him.
If
you want to see a kangaroo
this isn't New Japan, and Bray Wyatt is not Kenny Omega.
Right, well, really
also, Maxwell is not a girl.
Yeah, we got to move on.
All right, so I believe that's it for wrestling
for this week.
So on to the video games. Waiting for it. There it is.
Overwatch news. Yeah, that's right. Maxwell does have a
round of video games. Overwatch news.
Overwatch news. It was announced earlier this week that the new map of Blizzard World is going to be releasing on Tuesday, the 23rd, as well as all the new cosmetics, which feature things like a brand new Pharah skin that is like a golden jackal thing, and it all looks really cool, and I'm super excited for that to all show up this upcoming Tuesday. So there's that stuff coming out, and then we've also got news from the league known as the Overwatch League, which I'm about to bring up now.
Yes. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to watch much Overwatch League this week because I have pretty much had zero free time. Since the Overwatch League matches have started. But I've been we've been trying to keep up with the results and everything. So
right now, on Wednesday this week, Philadelphia beats...
Well, do you have the results from last week for Saturday? Because we missed out on Saturday last week.
I do not.
I know for a fact that New York Excelsior.
Saturday last week, London beat Philly, New York beat Houston, and Seoul beat the Gladiators.
Yes. And
those scores were London 4 to Philly 0, New York 3 to Houston 1, and Seoul 4 to Gladiators.
Yeah, I'm surprised
0.
Philly, after Philly came out and shocked, I think it was Dallas who they played. I'm surprised they did not, that they got 4-0'd by London. New York, again, I haven't seen their match yesterday, but again, last week in their second one, take care to Cam, who's leaving the chat. Pine came out and he once again just like wrecked. It's like Pine's out here. He's going to wreck as McCree. He's going to sub in for game 3, wreck as McCree, and then just leave. They started trying to give him a nickname like Final Boss Pine. It's like, okay, you guys won one. Here's Pine. Good luck. And then,
GGHF.
the Gladiators just ran into the behemoth that is Seoul Dynasty.
Yeah. And then this week on Wednesday, San Francisco lost to Philly 2-1. Florida Mayhem lost to Seoul. Not surprised there. 4-0.
Florida Mayhem is bottom tier right now.
Yeah. Shanghai Dragons lost to Houston 4-0.
That's not a surprise. I don't think Shanghai's rated that high either. And Houston's one of the better teams in the league.
Yeah. On Thursday, Houston beat Dallas 4-0. New York beat...
Wow, Houston 4-0 Dallas. Wow. The Dallas Fuel were considered to be like one of the favorites of making the playoffs and challenging, and they have not won a single game yet.
New York beat LA Valiant 3-0.
Big win for New York.
LA Gladiators beat Philly 3-2.
3-2. Oh my God, that must have been an exciting match. Yeah. God damn. And that also goes to show that like Philly is like the surprise team because they didn't play in the preseason. Nobody knew what they were gonna do, and they're now 2-1.
Yeah.
Like a huge win. Or no, they're 1-2, but they push the Gladiators to the brink.
Yeah. And then so far today, I'll just refresh this just to double check. But Seoul Dynasty beat Boston
4-0 Boston. That's not a surprise.
Yep, 4-0. And let's see, because when we went live, the oh no, it still is. The Shanghai Dragons are live against the Florida Mayhem. So some team's gonna get a win tonight.
Known as the bottom tier or trash tier bowl.
Yeah. And
those are two of the worst teams in the league.
Yep. And so right now, our current standings in the league are in first place Seoul Dynasty with 4 wins, New York Excelsior with 3, London with 2, Valkyrie with 2, Gladiators with 2, Houston.
Valkyrie or Valiant? It's Valiant, isn't it?
Sorry. Yeah, Valiant with 2, Gladiators with 2, Houston with 2, Philly with 2. And that's up to 7th place. Then 8th place is Boston with 1, 9th is San Francisco with 1, 10th is Florida with 0, 11th is Dallas with 0, and then 12th is Shanghai with 0.
To be fair with Dallas, they've faced they're 0-3, but they've faced Houston and Seoul, and then they ran into Philly, which is like the surprise team that's giving everybody a run for their money. So like I think with Shanghai and Miami, that's to be expected. Dallas is a surprise, but they've also been facing some of the top tier teams. They haven't really played any of the lesser teams in the league, so they'll probably start turning things around. Who are they playing tonight?
They're playing the Shanghai Dragons. 2 teams.
No, Shanghai Dragons are playing right now. They're playing tonight.
Yeah. Tonight they are playing London.
Oh, they're going 0-4.
Yep.
London is one of the best. Yeah. Yep. Poor Dallas, man. What a rough first 2 weeks for them.
Yeah. And then tomorrow, by the way, that match is live tonight at 10:35
Eastern time.
Yep, Eastern time. Tomorrow, Eastern time as well, you've got the Valiant versus London at 2:00, Gladiators versus Excelsiors at 4:00, and Boston Uprising versus San Francisco Shock at 6 p.m.
Gladiators versus New York, and Valiant versus the Spitfire London. Those are gonna be 2 good games tomorrow. What's this sports ball nonsense talking about Philly and Dallas? It's Overwatch League, Laser Scope. Yeah. Pay attention to what we've been talking about. So yeah. Cool stuff. Overwatch. Did you happen to get numbers on how the first week went for viewership? Just out of curiosity.
I did not get that.
Okay, I know from my experience, the first day there was over 300,000 concurrent streamers, and then day 2 and 3 I saw 200,000, and then day 4 I think it was one of the lesser matches I was watching. I think it was like around like one of the like less competitive or lower tier matches. I think it was like 126,000. So a bit of a drop off as the week went by, but like still pretty good numbers. Not bad numbers for the first week.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
But yeah, so that about does it for Overwatch this week.
Yeah, and unfortunately we don't have a ton of time this week to talk about a ton of video games. So I think we're only going to touch on one more story, and that is what the hell is a Labo?
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Ah, god damn it! I'll go get it.
Do it later.
No, just kidding. All right, do you have the story open to talk about? Explain to the people what a Nintendo Labo is and why it's more than just a cardboard box that you can make things into.
Okay, so
make it into things.
The basic idea is, let's say this is a special cardboard box thing that I made that I paid $60, $70, or $80 for from Nintendo. And then I took one Nintendo Switch Joy-Con controller and put it here and the other one here. I could then, if it's in the game for a remote control car, use my Switch system to drive it around. And it's basically, you pay a bunch of money to Nintendo for a bunch of cardboard to put it all over your controllers and play different games.
You can also
interact.
Can't you also like put the Joy-Con in like a fishing rod and pretend to fish?
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that.
So there's different games that you could do using this cardboard that involves you making different things out of it and interacting with these different games in different ways.
Mm-hmm. I think this is just Nintendo being Nintendo, and like it's lit the world on fire because it's so ridiculous that it's like. It's ridiculous, but people are like, this is also like amazing for kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, I found it hilarious. I think one of my favorite tweets regarding the situation, I don't remember who it was from, but it was like all most like console makers and game developers like, we're gonna be making our games in HD Ultra 4K and have the best graphics and the best gameplay. And then it was like, Nintendo, we made a cardboard box and you can make stuff with it.
Yep. It's a usual like great Nintendo thing of, you think this thing's gonna work? Only one way to see. Yeah, it works.
Oh, look,
yeah.
it's stuck.
Yeah, it worked.
What's that? Oh, that's that. Never mind that. That's what we like to call the Wii U experiment.
I was gonna say, well, that's the Wii U over there.
Oh. We still haven't brushed away the GameCube yet.
Hey, GameCube is good.
I don't like the GameCube that much. Probably a little bit of hate, but whatever.
Yeah, but oh man.
So yeah, it's really interesting. I think, basically it's a thing for kids to do, or if you're like an adult who wants to be like, look at me, I'm being ridiculous because it's Nintendo and it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you can try it out, but like it's just wackiness.
Yeah, it's weird.
Mm-hmm. I actually just remembered one other thing that I want to touch on really quick before we head out today.
Well, that's all the time we have tonight, folks.
The Dragon Ball FighterZ beta was this week.
Okay, how was that?
I didn't get to play any actual matches because A, I know better, and B, I didn't know the controls, so I actually played a little bit of the tutorials. I played some of them. I didn't finish all of them. It is a lot of fun.
I believe it.
The action and the combat is fun. It's very easy to. It feels like it's going to be a fighting game that's going to be very similar. Like a lot of people are likening it to Marvel vs. Capcom because it's similar because it's made by the guys Arc System Works who did BlazBlue, and BlazBlue is very similar to Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
It's a fighting game that is easy to pick up, but it's going to be difficult to master. So you can pick up and you can have fun with your friends like it's nothing. Laserscope says he got pub stomped hard. I think that's because you stepped into ranked, Laserscope. You should know, if you're playing a fighting game, never step into ranked. You will get bodied hardcore.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. One of the things that I like most about this, because one thing that like always overcomplicates stuff like Street Fighter for me, and maybe it's because I need to get good, but like I like this about Dragon Ball FighterZ is that they've simplified the special move system to where, like, unlike Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, each character, even though they have their own special moves, it's not different button combinations.
Yeah.
It's basically half circle forward or half circle back and circle R2 or R1 to pull off your like energy attacks, like your Kamehamehas. And with the R1, with the R2 and the circle, you just need one of your energy levels filled. You need 3 in order to pull off your R1 because that's like your like bigger super attack, yeah. Like the Warp Kamehameha or yeah. Like, well, actually, I think Goku goes Super Saiyan 3 and hits like a huge Kamehameha wave and stuff like that. And I think like Gohan, it's the father-son Kamehameha for like Teen Gohan and stuff like that. So,
very interesting.
Very cool. I like the system. I am excited for it. I actually went and pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition because it comes with in addition to the regular game, it includes there's going to be 8 DLC characters. Nice. So you get all of those when they release. You also get an anime pack where you get 11 anime songs from the anime to be included in battle scenes, which is awesome. And then the announcer pack. So you get extra like dialogue from the announcers and stuff like that. So,
in regards to the 8 DLC, come on, Chaozu and Yajirobe.
If I was gonna guess, I think most of them are probably gonna be super characters. So I would. Yeah, you're probably not gonna know a lot of these names I'm gonna mention, but I'm gonna drop them. I'm gonna drop them anyway. I'm hoping for. You might know. I'm hoping for Whis.
I know the name.
Whis. Tagoma from the Resurrection F would be cool. Kale or Caulifla or their fused version of Kefla, female Saiyans, really badass.
Not Kefka.
not Kefka, Kefla.
Okay.
The Trios de Danger, who are like 3 wolf fighters from one of the other universes, they were pretty cool. It'd be cool to see them maybe used where like they play off each other, like Android 17 and 18. I would like to see Android 17 with maybe 18 as a support or by himself from the Universal Survival arc.
True.
I feel like Topo and Jiren are must-haves because they're like the big up enemies, not really villains, but big enemies in the in the game. Kaba, who's a character from Super, another Saiyan, would be cool to have.
Maybe Okada.
Haha. And then maybe Frost, who's basically another universe's version of Frieza, would be cool. And then Champa, who is Beerus's brother.
Really?
Yeah, Beerus has a twin brother who's also a god of destruction of their universe 7, the Dragon Ball universe that we know of, and there are 13 universes total, and so there's universe 7, which they are, and then their universe 6, Champa is the god of destruction for. He's Beerus's like rather rotund twin brother, and they're twin universes.
Okay, so
those are some of the names of what I would like to see. I do not want to see Ribrianne, though.
Just one thing I want to point out is...
Screw Ribrianne.
How long into the future is this? Because, I mean,
this takes place...
He just finished coming back from injury and is going to face Gargano eventually.
Ah, you're hilarious. But anyway, if you're actually looking for the timeline, this happens after... Majin Kid Buu is defeated, and after the two, and like it starts off where they rehash the 2 movies, but it also happens before the final scenes in Dragon Ball Z when they go to that tournament years in the future, and he finds Oob and he flies off with Oob. Yeah. So it's in between those parts of Z.
Okay.
So yeah. Lazy Scope says so. It's a 24 to 34, 30. There's 24 to 30 characters based on the roster, and an expected 10 to 15 DLC characters in the season pass, something like that. I think it's 8 because they said 8 in the Ultimate Edition, but who knows? Maybe they'll do 8, and then they'll do more DLC characters after that who you have to pay for. So, but it'll be interesting. Kale, by the way, is basically female Broly, and we actually haven't gotten Broly. Broly isn't involved in the game, so we might get maybe Broly and Cooler and Meta Cooler and maybe I'm not big on Janemba, but maybe Super Android 13. Yeah, some of those guys, maybe Garlic Jr. will be involved. So
Garlic Jr.
Anyway, Fighter Z comes out the 26th, which is actually next Friday, which is gonna be cool. I'm having a couple buds over to play that weekend. Cool. If you get free,
we'll see.
Based on when we do our podcast. So yeah. Just wanted to mention that, and that is going to do it for episode 39 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. We're going to get out of here.
Let's get into this housekeeping.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching or listening. Don't forget you can catch us live with every episode. We normally live stream on a Saturday or a Friday. We are streaming on a Friday night right now. You can catch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/L_Murpho. Make sure you follow. Subscribe if you really, really want to. If you want to show extra love. Yeah. You can also catch us on demand if you do not catch the video, the podcast live on Twitch. And do not forget, you can also catch it on VOD on YouTube at youtube.com/LMurphoReal. You can like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate the likes and the comments and the subscriptions. They're all awesome. You can also catch us on audio form on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and lots of other places where podcasts can be found. Do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It's very important you do that there, especially on iTunes, because we do not have enough ratings and reviews for us to be officially rated and to be showing up on people's podcast searches. So if you help us out with some ratings and reviews, will eventually show up, and there'll be more people, and then more people will come in and join the discussions on YouTube, on the Twitch, in the Discord channel. Did I say Discord? Yes, that's right, because there is a Super Grapple Bros Discord channel on my personal Discord server. You guys can find that. The link should be in the description on YouTube. It is also on the Twitch page. So if you go check out the information on the Twitch page, you can go click on that, join the Discord server. You can ask questions in the channel for questions and topic suggestions and all that good stuff on the Discord server. You can also send us questions, topic suggestions, trivia questions, all that kind of stuff. Feedback to supergrapplebros@gmail.com as well.
Yep.
If you're curious about when we go live, we try to always tweet when we go live on our own personal accounts. I am at L_Murpho.
DMurph_42.
And with that, all that housekeeping, we are done with episode 39. Before we wrap it up and get ready for our Royal Rumble preview show, episode 40, what is the kayfabe news story of the episode?
Well, I just had to point out quickly that this article is a
Kayfabe news
little bit of a
headline.
downer because there's a little bit of a spoiler with the Royal Rumble where we're going to find out someone who's not going to win. Because, breaking news, Strowman confirmed for a WrestleMania match against Optimus Prime. Apparently,
I get it now.
Yeah,
I get it now.
Optimus Prime, according to the article, Optimus Prime will be avenging his third cousin.
Oh, that's a good one.
Braun Strowman will live to regret his truck flipping ways.
All right, guys, and with that, we are done. Until next time, take care. Deuces.
Peace.
Deuce. The
Too
deucey
sweet.
deuce. Too sweet me, bruh. Too sweet me. Too sweet me, bruh. Too sweet me, bruh.
Okay, that's enough.
Too sweet me, bruh.
Shut up and sit down.